Brothers and sisters, oh man, is it a weekend that you guys need to be caught up on? I mean, it's interesting when things like what we're about to cover, like the DOJ making these magical arrangements, and all of a sudden there's national red flag law centers dropped on weekends so no one cares. Yeah, it's weird because we do this show Monday through Friday. So, Tim, we've got some stuff to talk about, don't we?
Got some catching up to do.
Now, before we roll into all of what we're about to dive into, I got something to show you guys. Me and Tim are going to break this down. This is something that'll be interesting for you. There's a new company that I've come across, and they want you to know about it. But I'll be honest with you, man, this intrigues me. All right. This is called Ammo Squared. Okay. So listen to the overall idea and just give me your initial gut on this. So what they do is they've taken the elements of investing and of 401ks, and they've partnered with ammo storage, and they've made it into one individual solution. Now, does that intrigue you at a high level, or am I crazy?
Well, no, actually, that seems really interesting to me. I've told people before to invest in ammunition because it seems like the cost of ammo is constantly going up, and people always need ammunition. It would be pretty neat to be able to tuck some away as an investment. So that's pretty cool.
Exactly. That's exactly how they're doing it. So let me just walk you through how this works. So this company, Ammo Squared, they're family owned and they're operated, and they've been in business for like 8 years. What effectively they do is you put your investment capital into an account, and whenever you want to cash it out, magic, everything that you've been storing up for X amount of time and whatever differentiation that you want shows up. So instead of being at the mercy of the fluctuating market prices and the lack of availability, you've been doing it over time, and then you get what you need, but you're taking advantage of time and not the variable fluctuations in the market and availability. It's actually really clever.
Yeah, that's a neat concept. I find that to be truly fascinating.
I love talking about companies that intrigue me, but this one has no minimums to buy. They have no memberships needed, no extra fees, and they can literally do whatever they want on whatever budget they want. It is essentially, I mean, that's the best way to describe it, is it's actually an investment on your freedom seeds. I mean, like there's no better way to say it.
Exactly.
Right?
That's how I would say it. It certainly seems like an interesting service. I would definitely encourage people to check that one out.
Yeah, check it out. I mean, it's called Ammo Square, but we just ran across it. They threw it our way, and I was genuinely intrigued. So I hope you guys enjoy looking at that. Oh man, tyranny was on a rampage this weekend.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you have Biden and Harris sitting in there trying to gin up support for their failing administration. They're going to pander to the extreme sides of their party.
Tim, that was incredibly succinct and very accurate. It's almost like they put up all these executive bureaucratic organizations to say, look, we're good at something.
Yeah, well, we've done the most historic gun banning in American history. Come look at us. Vote for me. Yeah.
Vote for us. We take away freedoms left and right. Is that candy?
Right.
I want it. Yeah, I don't like these people.
Are they going to put this in the old building that they planned on putting the Ministry of Truth in, or they got new offices? So. I mean,
no, I think so,
because it's just money. I mean, if they need more, they just print it.
It makes sense. Yeah. No, it does. But by the way, speaking very good on the Ministry of Truth, because we're gonna make fun of that in a second. You remember when Biden was first inaugurated and they were doing all of these pressers and they built this fake White House stage? Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
Like, I still don't know why they did that, because you said money doesn't matter and they just make whatever they want. Right. I still don't know why they did that.
No.
It was like a TV sitcom set.
It was.
Where you could watch the president be the president, but from the side. It was real weird.
It was. I don't think they're still using it. I don't, unless they've just changed the camera angle or something, but that seemed really, really odd.
Yeah. I don't think they're using it either, but maybe that's where the Ministry of Truth was going to go. And then maybe that's where this is going to go.
Could be.
Maybe we're just in a really screwed up sitcom about infringement. Maybe this is like a parody, a live action mockery of communism and socialism, and see how stupid it looks in real life.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we're looking at.
The only thing I can hope for in this one is that they put Kamala Harris in charge of it, so to literally get nothing done.
Oh my goodness, they did.
That's awesome.
You didn't know?
Good. So then they can she can just have staff turnover every other day because she yells and screams and goes on tirades.
That's true. That's exactly what we're going to talk about it right now, because people of the Second Legacy, if you guys are not familiar, the DOJ made a subtle, sneaky announcement over the weekend where they said they're just going to, you know what? we're going to start a national red flag center. It's going to help all the money and all the training and all these amazing things to prevent gun violence. Really, really put it out there and help utilize and efficiently use the money from the Safer Communities Act. Tim, who passed that, by the way?
Yeah,
Who did that?
I think, well, it was proposed by the Democrats, but I'm pretty sure the Republicans helped pass that one.
Oh,
no,
that can't be
didn't
right.
They promise that this was fairly harmless, and it was just kind of a, let's extend the little branch of freedom here and see if we can make some peace. And I don't know what they were thinking, because the people they're making deals with hate us and want us gone.
Oh,
they want us in a ditch is where they want us.
I mean, talk about making deals with the devil and multiple devils. Yep. I mean, good Lord. I don't have the clips ready for me right now because it just kind of came into my mind. I'm going to give Dr. Producer some clips that we're going to throw in here right now where Chris Murphy is saying, man, remember that clip where he's like on the CBS News? He's like, they drove a hard bargain with that due process.
And those due process rights that now apply to every blue state, in addition to every red state, are in there because, people like Tom were driving a hard bargain.
They really wanted that due process. Well, it's in there now because we negotiated. And it's like,
it's all safe. And then meanwhile, we have this little center for depriving you of your constitutionally protected rights set up over the weekend. But they had that due process thing in there,
but they put it in there.
And of course, the biggest affront to due process is what? Drum roll, please. Red flag laws.
That's right. I mean, it's morons on parade, and I don't know who is more moronic. And it's actually, maybe you can help me with this, Tim. Is it the Democrats who push this for the gun control because they're unconstitutional and that is moronic? Or is it the Republicans who said they have good intentions? Yeah. They just want common sense.
I blame the Republicans because commies are going to commie. So
commies will commie.
You can't deny them their very nature. I mean, they do want to do authoritarian tyrannical regimes. I mean, that's just what they do. They have their little revolution and get rid of everybody they don't like, set up a one-party state. So that's just what they're going to do. But the Republicans enabling them, thinking that they're going to get some sort of, political fiat out of this that they could use elsewhere. Right. Like, okay, we'll negotiate with you on this one if you'll negotiate with us in the future. And what are the Democrats going to do? They're going to shut down everything the Republicans try to do. The Senate has stymied any Republican type of bills or anything on their side of the House.
That's correct.
And so
that's exactly
what did they hope to accomplish here? Because they didn't accomplish it other than screwing us out of our gun rights again.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things I want to go into. We're going to get into the impacts of the negotiation, right? But you just said something that I think we need to address real briefly, right? The Democrats are clearly playing for all the marbles with a consistent theme on purity of thought and litmus test. Like it is consistent. It is hive mind. You will think this way or you are out the door. I mean, like 100%. Yep. The Republicans, I swear, it seems like each one of them is like, well, maybe I can get some political favor or maybe I can work with them here and they'll help me over here. They never help you, ever, particularly around these types of things. Now, I'm going to throw something out there, Tim, and we didn't talk about this pre-show because it just kind of popped into my head. The creative juices are flowing. Tell me if you think this makes sense. So remember a week and a half ago where we had the DOJ and the FBI and the ATF and they were defunded and Speaker Johnson got up there and he was like, this is the first of many cuts and we're going to kick them right in the goods and we won this one. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, on Friday, wouldn't you know it, they came out and they funded the omnibus package, which gives the CDC like $29 million to research gun control.
Yep.
You think that horse trading happened there too? It's like, well, we're going to take away the DOJ and the FBI and the ATF because we need a political win for the Republicans. But in turn, Democrats, we're going to give you $29 million to move that gun control from those organizations directly into these organizations. And then Biden on the budget request for next year says, I want $2 billion for the ATF.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. I mean,
is your backside sore?
I know. Great negotiating on the Republicans' part. I mean, and they've been doing this my entire adult life. The Republicans have always been mocked for being weak, disjointed, not united around anything. They're constantly infighting, bickering, and then making deals with the devil. It never seems like. And then when they do get power, and they promise all these grand things, like in 2016 when they took, the House, the Senate, and the White House. What did they do with that? Absolutely nothing.
Well, they got close
Nothing.
to. I mean, they did get close to taking suppressors out of the NFA. I mean, they got real close.
That is about as close as they got. But they also then went on a rip.
They didn't even get a vote on it.
And then they went, to bump stocks, but then set up the stage for, everything else from the FRT triggers that they've gone after to auto key cards to anything you can think up. It is so infuriating. And this is why people say, are you a Republican? And I say, absolutely not. We have two choices, bad and worse. I mean, who do you vote for? It's like, which type of cancer do I want? You know what I mean? It's like, there's no choice there. No, I'm not, and I'm not a strong Republican. I don't have a party that represents me.
I would put you constitutionalist is what I would put you as.
Yeah, I'm a strict constitutionalist. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly. I think we would both share that. I'm not. I will not go. Hey, Republicans are the way. They just didn't get it right this time. Nah. Right. No. Sorry. Well, I'm not into Democrat light. No, I'm good.
They try the Dan Crenshaw argument, right? Well, you're never going to get a perfect bill. You're never going to get anything perfect. So you just got to negotiate your rights away. I actually had that conversation with him on the phone, trying to convince him that this is a bad idea, pushing for red flag laws. And he's like, well, this, you just got to understand how Congress works. I understand how Congress works. What you don't understand is you're dealing with the devil, and everything that you think you're going to come out on top on by negotiating with these people, they're going to stick it in and break it off. And you're going to walk away rubbing your rear end going, how did this happen? Again.
That's right. So, and here's a really good example. Now that we've come full circle and Tim painted that beautiful image, here's what happened with the Safer Communities Act, the bipartisan Senate Safer Communities Act. Tim, it was so bipartisan. It was so loving. It was so glorious. John Cornyn, such a good negotiator. And then 15 Republicans in total crossed the aisle for this one, giving Biden the single victory he's had legislatively, which, interesting enough, was the greatest thing on the planet that's never been accomplished before, but also at the same time did nothing. Right. Their own words.
Yes. We know it's not going to do anything. It's just a stepping stone. Right. But it's the greatest legislation that's been passed in 30 years. Yeah.
But it's the greatest stepping stone ever. It was like a Trump version of the Democrats going, it's just a stepping stone. But that stepping stone, it's going to be the most beautiful stepping stone you've ever seen. It's going to be blood red, the color of a communist regime.
Where they actually had success was with the Safer Communities Act with the support of the Republicans. They've done more damage with that.
And so now
anyway.
They have. So let's look at what they've done, because effectively, I swear Republicans go, no, it's a good law. Look, they're going to follow this letter of the law and they're going to execute this. And meanwhile, the Democrats are going, pass that. I'm going to hand this off to my executive bureaucratic state, and we're just going to reinterpret laws from what you're writing, and then we're going to get whatever we want. So just from a high level, we got ATF. What do they do to 18, 19, and 20-year-olds, Tim, by de facto?
What does ATF do to them? Count them as minors.
Well, I mean, effectively. Yeah, you have a mandatory background check.
Mandatory background check. I'm thinking, never mind. Yeah. My mind is in gun control groups and statistics. No. Sorry, my bad. ATF,
bad. You are right. Different story, different outrage, Tim.
Different outrage. Focus on your outrage.
I like the vibe, though.
Okay.
No, it's the 18, 19, and 20-year-olds that are mandatorily subjected to a waiting period for their rights everywhere, nationally. Yeah. That's ATF. Comes from that legislation. Everyone is now considered a gun buyer or a gun dealer if they sell one gun with a profit. We just saw how that worked out in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yep. So we got that little nougat. We've got billions of dollars that are going into bribing states to implement red flag laws, even though there is a due process provision in there. The money's still going to states that do it. And now the money's been revamped and redirected into a DOJ-driven National Red Flag Center, which, look at this, Tim. Number 4, operated through the Johns Hopkins Center for Gun Violence Solutions, paid for by a Justice Department grant. Johns Hopkins Center for Gun Violence Solutions is an expert witness that the media and the Democrats utilize in their pushes for gun control. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this
very
is
political.
An abomination.
Yeah. Yep. But they associate the name John Hopkins with it, so that gets people's attention. I mean, it's a great play on words, and people generally think of John Hopkins as a premium healthcare provider or whatever, but they're a political tool. Let's just call them tools.
Yes. Well, that's because Bloomberg gave them a whole lot of money, and then he got his own foundation inside Johns Hopkins, and all they do is gun control. It's the health angle. That's all it is.
And it's always fun to watch these commies who rail against capitalism, profits, corporations, taking money from people like Bloomberg, isn't it? Anyway.
Mm-hmm. No, it's good, Tim. I like that.
I have to throw my jab in at the commies.
You do.
That's twice in one video, by the way.
Down with the commies. I feel perfectly fine with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. No one can argue that that's something that's controversial or offensive. Nope. Down with commies. I'm okay with it. So here's an interesting one. Because after all, Tim, it wasn't about bribing anything, right? It wasn't about bribery because that would be mean. That's a mischaracterization of the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. Oh my goodness, what's this? Number 5. Only 21 states have implemented red flag laws, and the White House said that only 6 of those states have taken advantage of the $750 million in funding that the Biden administration made available through the BSCA, which is the law, for crisis intervention initiatives such as red flag programs, mental health, and drug and veteran treatment courts. Harris called on the other 29 states to enact a red flag law and urged those that already have to tap into the funds to support them. Oh my God, that's so weird.
Yeah.
Harris, the VP, would go, look, we have all this money. Don't you want it? That's
Come
weird.
on. It's money. Here's some money. Just violate some people's rights and you can have almost $1 billion. Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
And it's a big fund. There's probably no safeguards onto how that money's being spent either. So they're saying, oh, hey, I got a red flag law. Give me my almost $1 billion. And they run out and they fund something completely different. You know, it's just political payoffs.
That's exactly what it is. And you know what else that they're doing in other states? Man, this is kind of all over the place, but it's still focused. They're actually utilizing gun violence cost under Medicare and Medicaid. So they're actually using Medicare and Medicaid funds that are directed for states' healthcare towards the gun violence solutions.
Yeah. I'm sure there's been some of those Wuhan Weezer dollars redistributed for the cause too.
Oh, that's absolutely been that's been known. Yeah, dude. That money got redirected towards everything. I think some states even put it towards police, and the left collectively lost their ever-loving minds on that one.
So all they do is just throw money at people to buy, buy political favor, and there's no accounting for it. Yeah. So, gotta love it.
It's weird. Hey, don't you feel good though, Tim? Because we now have a national red flag law center. I mean, I feel better. I feel safe at night.
Yes. I'm so glad that a jilted coworker or ex or just an angry neighbor that doesn't like your dog can go into a Star Chamber court and have your rights stripped from you, have your door kicked in the middle of the night. That definitely makes me feel safer. It truly does.
It does. Yep. It's all about feeling safe because after all, safety is a right.
It is. And having big government hanging over you may seem like you're under the shadow of a big government, but it's protecting you. It's there. It's the new religion.
That's right.
Just look up at the big shadow hanging over your head and just pray to it. And it'll just drop $750 million in your lap and take a few rights along the way. But hey, if you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet.
Well, hold on a second. Does that work for civilians? Because I mean, I could use a cool 750. I mean,
right. I make my community safer. Can I get $500 million or maybe $750 million?
Hey, see? Yeah. There you go. We're part of the program. I love that. But I like that analogy, Tim, because it's such a good – I think you did it on accident. But I like where we're going with this, though, because the big cloud that you were mentioning up top, oh, my goodness. You may feel it being oppressive, like a big fog, a heavy, heavy fog, but it's actually – you would get sunburn if it wasn't there. So it's really – it's protecting you.
It is. It's the shield of big government. It's nice to have Big Daddy always there, making sure that every word spoken, every word typed, everything you do, meets what's politically acceptable at that time. Because
it is so safe. I feel safe. So safety is a right, Tim.
Yes.
And nothing could go wrong with a state guaranteeing that right.
Right.
Except everything.
Right. All right.
Right? Question mark?
Anyway, it'll be interesting to see what this doesn't accomplish going forward. I hope it seems to me that anytime they put Harris in charge of something, it just kind of fizzles and pops. But hey, she's just one heartbeat away from the presidency. Let us know in the comments what you think about the whole red flag law thing. I'm sure you're loving it just as much as we are. Thank you for watching Second Legacy, and we'll talk to you guys soon.